It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom. It was the age of foolishness. It was 1937. 1937 was a year of huge political and social change. Britain was in the depths of an economic crisis, and communism was in full swing throughout Europe. The future was uncertain. But 8,300 kilometers away, in the small village of Viragalur in Tamil Nadu, a ray of hope shone into this world. A bonny baby was born. He was to be the voice of the voiceless, the defender of the downtrodden, the face of the Adivasi tribals, their struggle to be heard, their fight for justice and their legitimate rights. He was Stanislaus Lourduswamy, Stan Swamy. Stan grew up strong in the faith and imbibed a keen sense of justice and fair play through his early years in school and the influence of the fathers at Our Lady of Dollars Church, Viragalur. Stan Swamy joined the Society of Jesus, the Jesuits, on the 30th of May 1957 at Dindigul, Tamil Nadu, and took his first vows on the 5th of June 1959. He was ordained on the 14th of April 1970 at Manila and took his final vows on the 22nd April 1981. Stan Swamy's education was wide and varied and revolved around some of the finest Catholic educational institutions spread across South India, Central and Eastern India, the Philippines and Belgium. Let us now take a quick look at Father Stan Swamy's work, details of which have been taken from the website cpj.org.in. CPJ stands for Citizens for Justice and Peace. The Adivasi tribal belt of Jharkhand is the country's gold mine of mineral wealth, with more than 40% of the mineral resources of India. But 39.1% of the population of Jharkhand lives below the poverty line, and 19.6% of the children below 5 years of age are malnourished. In 2017, at an investors' summit held in Ranchi, 209 MOUs worth 3 lakh crore rupees were signed. Where is the land for all these projects going to come from? Your guess is as good as mine. It is in this context that Father Stan Swamy has extensively worked in Jharkhand for the rights of the Adivasis. One of the major campaigns he was associated with was the Jharkhand Organization Against Uranium Radiation, JOAR, a campaign against Uranium Corporation of India Limited in 1996. He also worked with the displaced people of Bokaro, Santhal Parganas and Koderma. In 2010, Father Stan published a book titled Jail Mein Band Kaidiyon Ka Sach, exposing the arbitrary and unlawful arrests of tribal youth with alleged links to the Naxal movement. In 2014, a report confirmed the issues raised by Father Stan in his book. 98% of the 3,000 arrested youth were falsely implicated and had no links to the Naxal movement. Some served years in jail without a trial. Over the years, Father Stan has been a watchdog for democracy and the rights of Adivasi tribals in Jharkhand and the tribal belt. The issues he raised and the probing questions he asked made the powers that be very uncomfortable. The details of the various issues can be seen on the website cpj.org.in. CPJ, I repeat, stands for Citizens for Justice and Peace. Father Stan was proving to be a real thorn in the side of a corrupt and unjust system. the government unleashed the National Investigation Agency on Father Stan, and over a 3-month period, NIA subjected him to multiple rounds of exhaustive questioning. They planted fabricated documents in his computer to tie him in with extremist elements and militant Maoist groups, and finally arrested him on 8th October 2020. Father Stan's arrest was in blatant violation of all human rights and humane considerations. Given Father Stan's age and multiple health complications, and the ongoing COVID pandemic, the just and ethical options of house arrest and interrogation by video conference were rode roughshod over, and Father Stan was flown to Mumbai and is now lodged in Taloja jail. His application for interim bail on medical and compassionate grounds was rejected by a special court, raising further concerns about Father Stan's safety and health while in custody. The NIA claimed to have found links between Father Stan and the Elgar Parishad Bhima Koregaon case, in which they have already arrested 15 others: writers, poets, intellectuals, activists and lawyers, hardly persons capable of violence. And now, Father Stan Swamy. Father Stan Swamy confirms that he has never ever been to Bhima Koregaon. The outrage has been massive. The media and the intelligentsia have expressed complete horror at the preposterous actions of the NIA and the government. The protests across the country and overseas have been covered widely by our media, both print and electronic. As one, there has been an outpouring of support for Father Stan Swamy in particular, and the 15 activists already languishing in jail. Political personalities, thought leaders, intellectuals and the common man alike have stood in solidarity with Father Stan. This groundswell of support is only set to grow in the coming days and weeks as countrywide protests and peaceful agitations are planned, as, with one voice, India stands with Stan. India stands with the 16. India stands for justice.